Good morning, class. Today we are going to be reviewing some of our work from yesterday, and it should have been homework if you didn't finish it. It was page 244 on dividing 4-digit by 1-digit numbers, and it was also on estimation. So today we're going to be reviewing especially the estimation because that seemed like it was really difficult yesterday. So we're going to start with 2,871 divided by 9. So we're going to keep that 9 in that division. We're going to bring it over. This is going to be our problem for our estimation. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to ask ourselves if 9 can go into 2. It can't, so then we go to 28, and we find the closest multiple of 9 that fits into 28. The answer is 27. So we're just going to take that and we're going to move it over here, and then we're going to make it 27 because that's a happier number for 9 to fit into. And then we're just going to do we're going to do 27 divided by 9. 27 divided by 9 is 3. And then we're going to do that magic that Mr. Burgett was talking about. We're taking that 71, and that's 2 digits. We're going to make those 2 digits into zeros. And then those zeros we're just going to bring up right on top of our house and add to the 3. So our answer should be somewhere between or somewhere near that 300. So now we're going to go on and we're going to solve our real equation. So how many times does 9 go into 28? We already said that earlier. It's 3. 3 times 9 is 27. You're just subtracting 27 from 28. That's a 1. You bring down the 7, so it's 17. 9 times 2 is 18, and that's too many times, so 9 just fits into it once. 1 times 9 is 9. You're subtracting 9 from 17, and you get 8. Your next step is that added 1 with the 4th digit. You're bringing that 4th digit all the way down and making that 81. 9 fits nicely into 81 9 times. 9 times 9 is 81. You're going to subtract that, and you're left with your remainder of 0. So your real answer is 319 with no remainder. And your estimate was 300. And those are very close numbers, so you know that you are correct. Okay, so now we are going to number 7. Number 7 is 3,248 divided by 8. We're going to start with our estimate, and I already have it written over here a little bit. We start with something divided by 8 because we're going to keep that 8. Now we're going to figure out, does 8 go into 3? No, it does not. So then we're going to ask ourselves, does 8 go into 32? And yes, it does. This one is easier than the first one because 8 goes into 32 perfectly. So you don't have to change anything. You're just moving that 32 over there. Then you're going to do that magic where you take those 2 digits in the 48 and you're going to make them zeros. Now you go back and pretend those zeros aren't there, and you're going to take 32 divided by 8. 32 divided by 8 is 4, and then you're going to bring those zeros right up and you're going to put them right on top of your house. And your estimate answer is 400. So your answer, your real one, should be something close to 400. So let's go ahead and we'll figure out the real answer to 3,248 divided by 8. Alright, so 8 does not go into 32. We already talked about that in our estimate. It does not go into 3, but it does go into 32. And it goes in 4 times. Make sure that 4 is above your 2. It looks like a 9, doesn't it? Let's back that up. Let's make sure that's a 4. Alright. 4 times 8 is 32. So that's 0. Bring the 4 down. Does 8 go into 4? No, it goes in 0 times. So let me put that 0 up there. 0 times 8 is 0. And you're going to subtract that from 4. Then you're going to bring down that 8. And you get 8 down here. Then you're going to ask yourself, what times 8 is 48, or somewhere close? How many times does 8 fit into 48? The answer is 6. 6 times 8 is exactly 48. You're going to subtract that and get 0 as your remainder. So your answer is 406, 406, and your estimate was 400. And are those close? Yes, they are. So you know you're right. Yay! Okay, now we are looking at number 11. Make sure you are looking at the directions because the directions change. This now says in 11 through 16, estimate first. Tell if the answers are reasonable. Notice that all of the questions already have an answer on the top, but we don't know if they're right or not. So we have to do an estimate first. So I've already got this estimate set up over here. We know it's something divided by 6. Now the first thing we ask ourselves is, can 6 go into 30? No, it can't. So then we ask ourselves, does 6 go into 36? Yes, it does, perfectly. So we can add our 36 over there. And then there is 1 digit left over, that 1 right there. So we change that to a 0 in our estimate. Alright, now we are pretending like that 0 does not exist. We're doing 36 divided by 6. That answer is 6. And then we are moving that 0 right up to the top. So it's 60. And it says our answer should be 61, remainder 1. And our estimate that we just did is 60. And since these are close, then it should be yes, is your answer. It is reasonable. Your answer for number 12, I'm sorry, you didn't do number 12. For number 13 should be yes. And your answer for number 15 should also be a yes. Number 23 is a story problem, and it does not involve estimation, so we're going to get rid of that. Alright, let's read the question. And the trick to doing this is when you're reading a story problem, you're always going to want to write down the numbers as you read them. So as we read them, we're going to write down the numbers. Alicia has 164 treats to give to. So 164 treats. To give to 7 goats at the petting zoo. 7 goats. Oops. G-O-A-T-S. At the petting zoo. Each goat gets an equal share. Remember that when you're sharing them equally, equal always means a division problem. When you see the word equal, or splitting it equally, splitting equally is always going to mean you have a division problem. Okay, how many treats will each goat get? So you're dividing 164 treats divided by 7 goats. So let's go ahead and answer that. First, you're going to ask yourself, can 7 go into 1? It cannot. So then you ask yourself, can 7 go into 16? It sure can. You're going to end up with 2 7s, and that makes 14. 16 minus 14 is 2. You're going to bring down that 4. Then you're going to ask yourself, how many times can 7 go into 24? 7 can go into 24 3 times. 3 times 7 is 21. 24 minus 21 is 3. And then that's going to be your remainder. Okay, but can you give a goat part of a treat? No, you can't. So how many treats, the question is how many treats will each goat get? Each goat will get 23 treats. And then, how many treats will Alicia have left is the second question. Well, you have a remainder of 3, and the remainder means what's remaining, which is what's left over. If you have some food left over from Thanksgiving dinner, it's left over. It's remaining. It's left over. That's why when you eat turkey sandwiches for weeks and weeks after Thanksgiving, it's leftovers. So whatever is left over is a remainder. So you're going to have 3 treats left over. So you should have 2 answers to number 23. The first one should be 23 treats, and the second one should be 3 treats. And make sure you have the treats in there. Make sure you have your units. Otherwise, 23 what? 23 Cocker Spaniels? You gotta make sure it's the right unit there. The last thing I wanted to talk to you about was when you are writing on your lined paper, I want you to be able to write neatly. I don't want to see questions that you've written down, problems that you've written down. Let's say here's a hole in the paper, notebook paper, right? Okay. I don't want to see numbers where you start here and then you write really teeny tiny and I can't see anything up here and you say, here's my answer. Right up here. And I also don't want to see something where you're writing all over the page and you can't see anything, because I can't grade any of that if it's written all over. I need you to write nice and neatly, so you always have this, you always have the problem on one line, and you always have the answer on one line. You're always going to have the answer right here, and every step is going to take up one line all the way down. Nice and neat. Alright, I don't care if you set it up 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3. Just as long as you always set it up so it's nice and neat. Just like that. I don't want to see any of the scribbles, and if I see it during class, then I won't help you because I can't read it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.